This world is a genie. It grabs you in its arms and you are gone. It buys your souls against the bounties of life. What does Satan do to you? It is accelerate your desires and wash out the rightful way. To get something is not bad, but the way you get does matter. Wisdom is only the tool to accomplish the desires. It's Wahi that tells if the accomplishment is lawful or not. That's why it is stated in Quran, this world is mere illusion. The real life will be hereafter which never ends. It's Satan that makes the things easier to access when desired. Do you know the modern slavery of mankind? Sure, let's see. Banking system that controls the economy and wealth of any country and debt.
But why is the bank committing so much of its capital and resources to the sale of these missiles?
It's a test. Small arms are the only weapons used in 99% of the world's conflicts. And no one has the capacity to manufacture them faster and cheaper than China. What Skarsen is attempting to do is to make the IBBC the exclusive broker of Chinese small arms to the Third World. And the missile deal is the gateway transaction.
Yeah, but billions of dollars invested simply to be a broker. There can't be that much profit for them.
No, this is not about making profit from weapon sales. It's about control.
Control the flow of weapons, control the conflict.
No, the IBBC is a bank. Their objective isn't to control the conflict. It's to control the debt that the conflict produces. You see, the real value of a conflict, the true value, is in the debt that it creates. You control the debt, you control everything. You find this upsetting, yes? But this is the very essence of the banking industry. To make us all, whether we be nations or individuals, slaves to debt.
The essence of banking industry is to control debt, which makes the nations and individual a slave. IMF, World Bank to control nations, credit cards and loans to control individuals. 99% of Earth's population is controlled by an elite 1%. But did you know that one family, the Rothschilds, rule everything, even that elite 1%? Behind the scene, the Rothschild dynasty is unquestionably the most powerful bloodline on Earth, and their estimated wealth is around $500 trillion. 96% of central banks are owned or controlled by Rothschilds.
Bank, the PBLC, People's Bank of China, the Bank of Japan, where really capitalism is run by a central banking system. It's called communism also. The government is, communism is centralized government, capitalism is centralized banking. And the more you step back, you look at the big picture, the ultra-rich control the central banks. For example, the Rothschild Corporation, let's say there's 50 central banks, the Rothschilds own about 48 of them.
Wow.
And so you and I don't have a prayer because money makes the world go round. And the economy runs on money, like it or not. So that's why I became a student of money back in the 80s. And
What does these central banks do? They control all the central banks of world. Banking industry got new heights starting from First and Second World War, since debt on both sides was given by same banks to buy weapons. Thus, countries started becoming slaves. They introduced the easiest way to obtain debt, accessible for all countries, and then ruling over them by imposing economic emergencies and taxation to masses. They introduced paper money and converted original money with mere fake one. They controlled the world's currency. It was obvious to run a standard acceptable currency in all countries, so dollar was introduced as the international currency, which made the boost to dollar. Do you know the next currency that is going to replace this paper money? Digital currency. What is the COVID, do you think? Is this the natural virus or man-made? Most of the scientists are on the same page as if this is prepared by labs. Which industry got the benefit out of this? Pharmaceutical? Indeed, yes, but which the most? Technology and financial inclusion. Around 50% growth is seen in digital conversion during COVID as compared to the last one decade. To control the digital currency is as easier as to switch off and the light is off. One cyber attack, or if the controllers blacklist any country by blocking their transaction, what will happen? Think for a person who is a billionaire and one fine morning he comes to know that his money is taken away from his account via cyber attack and now he is zero. Any country has been blacklisted and all of its transactions gets blocked. Think for a while what chaos will spread when bulk of people will be failed to buy food even. Before we move on a digital, there will come a destruction to the dollar as predicted in Simpson cartoons. A cartoon which predictions comes true.
Oh, China, is there nothing that can't be made in you? Shit. Ah, my first sucker.
Oh, $1. It's a trick! It's a trick! It's a trick! I never needed these. I never needed these. I never needed these.
Oh, looky here. It's the old fishing line on a dollar bill prank. Dollar bill prank. Dollar bill prank. Man, even a backwoods, no account, inbred, lead paint eating, kerosene huffing, roadkill chomping. What was my point? My point? That is a practical joke, Luann.
This isn't right. No one's falling for my pranks. At least it wasn't a total waste. I found a quarter.
What a moron.
Hey, come back here! This money ain't no good! It's US dollars! Absolutely worthless!
Do you see now what's being planned to enforce one world order? The whole world will be controlled from one place, one order which will control the wealth and all human beings.
This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are...
Who are these? These are those who owns you.
But there's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. You know something? They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know?